Hello, welcome back to another video, and Kate Bishop is one of the newest characters to come to the MCU, but she's a character that not many people know a whole lot about. And so you might be wondering, who is Kate Bishop, and why does she have the name Hawkeye, if Clint Barton is Hawkeye? Well, I thought I'd explain to you who Kate Bishop is, and why she has the name Hawkeye, and tell you a little bit about her comic book origins. So, Kate Bishop first appeared in Young Avengers #1 in 2005, and she was a part of the whole Young Avengers 2005 to 2006 run. In this run, it starts off where she's attending her sister's wedding, and she does explain to her sister how she feels like they shouldn't be going all out with this wedding because they are rich, because there are less fortunate who she thinks that we should donate money to. Her sister doesn't necessarily agree, but oh well. But as the wedding is going on, some party crashers come in with guns, and they take everyone hostage and try to steal all their valuables. But then, even more party crashers decide to join the party because the Young Avengers crash in to try to stop it. But they don't do the greatest job at it. So Kate insists to some of the people at the wedding that there's like 100 of them and only 5 of them. So they should just try to fight back. And then one of the guys hears her and reminds her, yeah, but we have guns. And then after the Young Avengers try to stop her, one of the guys takes Kate hostage, explaining that they all should stop or else he will shoot her. Patriot tries his best to save her, but it ends up getting him into some trouble as well. So Kate ends up saving herself as well as Patriot, and she lowers this over him for the rest of the series. Then after this whole event happens, the Young Avengers leave, and she meets up with Cassie Lang, aka Stature, yes, Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man's daughter, and yeah, that's a whole other character arc and story to dive into. That's for another video. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Maybe I can make a video on her too. But they meet up and they go to the abandoned Avengers mansion to try to see the Young Avengers because they both want to be members of the Young Avengers. And yeah, the Avengers mansion is abandoned because of a bunch of other storylines that happened. And that's another thing that should be explained in another video. There's a lot going on in comic books. I'll just say that. So yeah, she decides to join them, and her superhero costume starts off as Hawkingbird with a purple dress and a purple eye mask, combining the names of Mockingbird and Hawkeye, 2 characters who they think are dead, but they're not dead. More confusing comic book stuff. I'll just say that. That's another topic. And that's what she uses to fight Kang the Conqueror, because in this Young Avengers run, they end up facing off against Kang the Conqueror. After facing off with Kang the Conqueror, Captain America insists that they need to stop. The Young Avengers are way too young to be getting into these extremely dangerous situations, so he forces them to stop. But even though he takes away their costumes and gear, Kate unites the Young Avengers, explaining how it doesn't matter what Cap says, they should do it because it'd be the right thing to do. So she's a big reason why the Young Avengers decide to continue going even after Cap said to stop. And if it weren't for her, the Young Avengers wouldn't have gone on to continue. So they get new costumes. Kate gets a costume that you normally see her in, which is what her Disney Plus costume is based off of, at least for the most part. And they go out and they go out to save the world and fight bad guys. After a whole bunch of stuff happens with like a Kree and Skrulls, because of Hawkling, who's another member of the Young Avengers, they meet up with Captain America. She tells Cap that it doesn't matter what he says, they're going to continue fighting because it's the right thing to do. Then they have to keep fighting on because, well, they have superpowers, and as you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, she didn't say that, but I mean, that's pretty much, you know, what all superheroes go through, so, you know. Cap explains to her that no one has ever stood up to her like that before, except for one person, Hawkeye, aka Clint Barton. So he decides to give Kate Clint's bow and name Hawkeye. This is how she gets the superhero name Hawkeye. And then she appears later on in Young Avengers Special #1, or in Young Avengers Special #1, which is a comic book that came out like halfway through the series, but it also it's like a prequel type, I don't know, it's like a prequel where they tell the stories, and it takes place halfway through the series. But Kate explains to Jessica Jones why she got into crime fighting in the first place. And she explains that she's always wanted to help people. In the park where she's walking in Central Park, and then this guy attacks her, that scars her for life, which causes her to go to therapy, as well as learn martial arts, archery, and swordsmanship. Did I say that right? I don't think I did, but oh well. But she learns how to do stuff with swords, bow and arrow, as well as martial arts. So, and that's really what caused her to go into it, and she was a pretty big fan of Hawkeye, like the TV show shows us. So then we get to, after that Young Avengers special, as well as the Young Avengers run or series, we see her again in Young Avengers Presents #5, Hawkeye, because after that series, they released another series where each comic book was about a certain Young Avenger. The 5th one was about Hawkeye, aka Kate Bishop. In this series, in this issue, it starts off with Kate and Patriot in a carriage ride in Central Park, because yes, after teasing each other a lot, yelling at each other a lot, they eventually do get together. And then we get, if you want to know more about that, read the series. It's the whole thing in the series. But she tells Patriot that she thinks that they should just be friends, and keep things professional. And then, right after she's saying that, they get attacked by this guy in a mask. He knocks Patriot unconscious and fights Kate. Man, poor Patriot. First Kate breaks his heart, and then this guy breaks his face. Poor guy. But who is this guy, you may be wondering? It is Ronan. And if you watch the MCU, you might know that Ronan is Clint Barton. But nobody else, at least Kate at this moment, does not know that. But as they're fighting, she realizes that Ronan isn't trying to hurt her. He's testing her. And she realizes this. So after this fight, he tells her to meet her at, I forget where. Was it Avengers Mansion? I don't remember. I have to relook. But he leaves. Patriot wakes up, and she explains that he just passed out. But you know, that's not true. So they later meet up, and Ronan reveals that he is Clint Barton, and Kate's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Hawkeye." And then they make a little wager, where they're talking about this impossible shot, and Kate insists that he can't make it. But Clint says that he can make it, so they make a little bet. If Clint misses the impossible shot, Kate keeps the bow and the name. But if he hits the impossible shot, then Clint gets his bow and name back. And, well, he's Hawkeye, so of course he makes the shot. So she goes back to where the Young Avengers were training, and after getting mad at Patriot and getting together with Speed, and it's a whole bunch of relationship drama. If you really care that much about it, you can read the comic book. It's a good comic, so I'd recommend reading it. But Speed convinces her to just steal the bow back, and at first she doubts it, but she eventually goes along with it, and they both break in and steal it. But Clint and I believe it was Power Man come in at that point in time, and Speed leaves her because, well, he leaves her by herself. So you know, he's not the nicest. That's just what heroes do, I guess. So she hides, but she overhears Clint talking about how he thinks that the Young Avengers are doing good. He doesn't think that they should be constantly overseen, and that they should have a bit of freedom. But he thinks that they are. It's a good thing that they're a team and that they have potential. And he explains that he was just messing with Kate when he was teasing her about taking the bow back. Kate leaves. They meet up once again, and Clint explains that he knew that Kate was there the whole time, and Kate reveals that she knew that she was there the whole time. And also, if you're wondering, her and Patriot do make up and start over and all that stuff. I mean, again, if you really care that much about it, go read the series. It's a good series, so I would recommend it. But yeah, later on she appears in Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, which took place from 2012 to 2015. In this run, Clint trains Kate to become an even better archer than she was before. And they have a great relationship where even though he is this mentor to her, they really are like siblings, where Clint's like the older brother and Kate's like the younger sister, because they're constantly teasing each other, they're constantly calling each other names, they're constantly being rude to each other, but they do care for each other deeply like siblings. But yeah, and then together they take on threats like the Tracksuit Draculas, who were adapted as the Tracksuit Mafia in the Disney Plus show. And then she eventually ends up a part of the West Coast Avengers for a time, and she's appeared in many other comic books like Young Avengers 2005, Young Avengers Presents number 6 Hawkeye, and Matt Fraction's 2012 Hawkeye run, like I said. But she's also appeared in many other comic books like Young Avengers Children's Crusade from 2010, Young Avengers 2013. She got her own solo run in 2016 that was just called Hawkeye. She was West Coast Avengers, I believe it was called West Coast Avengers Redux from 2018, Old Man Hawkeye, and she just recently got her own series called Hawkeye Kate Bishop from 2021. She also appeared in some video games, but not too many. She appeared in LEGO Marvel's Avengers as a free-play character, LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 as a paid DLC character. I believe it was the Champions character pack that she was in. And she's also in Marvel's Avengers as a free DLC character, which is the gameplay you're seeing. And when it comes to movies and TV shows, she hasn't appeared in anything yet, well, except for one thing, that being Marvel Studios' Hawkeye on Disney Plus. But that's it. But it is a part of the MCU, and it did do a good job, I think, at adapting her character to the MCU. There are a decent amount of changes, like for example, the fact that in the comic books it's her mother that dies, and in the TV show it's her father that dies. As well as there's some other changes and adaptations to her story, like she never meets the Young Avengers, at least not yet. That's not what turns her into a hero. She kind of just gets mixed up in this whole mess with the Ronin suit, and that's okay too. I think they did a great job at adapting her to the MCU, and Hailee Steinfeld, I feel like, was the perfect person to play Kate Bishop. And I think she just is the most accurate to play Kate Bishop. But yeah, that is Kate Bishop. She eventually takes up the moniker of Hawkeye, and she pretty much, Clint Barton trains her to become the new Hawkeye. I guess that technically was a short way of saying it, but yeah. So I hope you guys like this video. I almost forgot to mention that they also get a dog named Lucky the pizza dog, which is in the TV show as well. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is this a character that you knew a lot about, or was it a character you didn't know anything about, and did I help you learn anything new, or did you already know all this stuff? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like. This is a video that actually took me a surprisingly long time to make. So if you liked it, please hit the like button. That would be very helpful. And if you want to see more videos like this, well, I've done reviews for the Hawkeye TV shows, as well as I played Marvel's Avengers as Kate Bishop before. So please consider hitting the subscribe button to see more stuff like that. Also, if you want to see more of me explaining who characters are, please let me know in the comments below. And who would you like me to explain? Because if you want, maybe I could do a video for all the Young Avengers, like Patriot, like Cassie Lang, like Wiccan and Speed, like Hawkling. You know, all these other Young Avengers who we'll probably be seeing in the MCU. I mean, half of them we've already seen in the MCU. So yeah, let me know if you'd like to see that and who you'd like to see that for in the comments down below. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video. What do you think of Kate Bishop? Is she one of your favorite characters, or do you think she's okay, or do you think she's just annoying and a terrible character? She's one of my personal favorite characters, definitely top 5. And I hope to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. Thanks so much for taking time to watch, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!